Hey, YouTube, I'm going to get right back into this one too. Education is not a right. Now, I know that people are going to get heated about this one. Now, I will tell you this, that in my past, I actually taught high school algebra, geometry, and I did some ACT prep. And I did it for 3 years. And let me tell you something. Education is not a right, and as a libertarian, I want to get rid of the Department of Education. In fact, I think that all of those departments are unconstitutional. There could be some argument about the Secretary of Defense, but all the rest of them should be eliminated. And I had a discussion with one of my clients regarding this, and they believe that the Department of Education should be, we should keep it. And this was their argument. Their argument was that the Department of Education does more than just regulate high schools and junior highs and things of that nature, because it's an obvious failure. When you look at where we rank in the world in math and science, we are 26th and 27th. But guess what we rank number 1 in? Confidence. It's interesting. Americans are very confident because we live in this culture where everything is positive. We sit here and we lie to our kids. Most of them are obviously inept. They are unprepared. And you know what's so interesting about it? It's easy the way to tell. When these kids graduate high schools with 4.0s and they go take the ACT or the SAT, or when they get into college, it is a culture shock. That's the reason most of them drop out. More people are going to college, but then most people are dropping out, especially in the African American. Scratch that. Black community. Most of the males that enter school end up dropping out. And it's because it's too difficult, even though, because they've been lied to by their teachers, they've been lied to by their parents, and so they think that they're prepared because they make a 4.0, but they're obviously inept and they can't compete. But we don't like to be honest with that. We rather set them up for failure. But anyway, they were explaining to me that they do a lot of things. They were talking about there are people going to, if the Department of Education didn't jump in and help people go to school, then go to college, then there are a lot of poor people that wouldn't go to college. College would only be for rich people. And this is the argument that a lot of progressives make. They go, if the Department of Education didn't jump in and provide these loans for these kids, they couldn't afford to go to college. See, this is inherently their argument. I mean, this is their argument, but it goes to show you their ineptitude, how they do not understand basic economics, and they don't understand how this system really works. All you got to do is go back 40 or 50 years and ask a lot of the people who have their PhDs and master's degrees today, people who are like 60 and 65, they went to college full time, graduated with a PhD, and had no student debt. Now people ask, how did that happen? They act like if there was no Department of Education, there would be no education. This is a fallacy of the liberals and the progressives, and how they keep black people in bondage. They act like there was no education prior to that. Black people, we have a deep heritage of education. Schools that had a tenth of the accommodations of a lot of white schools, and we performed at an extremely high level, especially during the 50s. Go back and look at the national data and see where blacks ranked among all other nationalities. It was off the chart. In fact, we ranked number 1. But anyway, that's something. Go do your own research in regards to that. But the fact is that it's just a form of slavery, making black people think that somehow our brain is smaller than everyone else's. But this whole a fallacy about if the Department of Education wasn't involved in education, that poor people wouldn't go to school. See, here's the thing. They never ask themselves a simple fundamental question. Why do prices rise? Why is education so expensive? You see, they think that education is just, the prices of things just go up. They don't understand why they go up. It's because the government is involved. If you are an institution and you know you had guaranteed money from the government, then what are you going to do? You're going to charge the absolute highest to get in there. But what if there were competition to where you had to compete for dollars? Then the market would decide what the prices were. See, that was happening back in the 40s and the 50s. The market was deciding what was happening with the price of education. Now the government is subsidizing it. Now the prices are absolutely going through the roof. I'll give you an example that most people can identify with. They may not like this example, but let me show you something. Look at boob jobs. Women who've had breast augmentation. Now, I don't know if they're covered by insurance now, probably because of breast cancer, but prior to that, look at the continuum. When they first came out, boob jobs were extremely expensive, but they weren't paid for by insurance. Now, anybody can go get one. The price is cheaper. Why? And check this out. The technology is better. 10 times better than it was years ago, and the prices have gone down. That's the free market. Anything the government is not involved in, the prices go down and the quality gets better. Look at flat screen TVs. You remember when they first came out, plasmas were $10,000. I remember my partner of mine got one, $10,000 for a plasma screen TV. Y'all remember, if you're as old as I am, I'm about to be 46. Now the technology is better. They got LCD. They got all types of people making these machines. You can go get you a 42-inch for $300. The quality is better. Whole thing, because the government is not involved in it. See, that's what happens when you allow the free market. Now, let me be clear. We do not overall have a free market. We have semblances of a free market. We have pockets of free market, and this is the whole thing that confuses people by thinking that we have a free market economy, and we don't. Now the thing about the free market is that it will not be denied. That's the reason, no matter how much government tries to regulate, people moving and interacting with other people are going to create a market themselves. They call it a secondary market, but really it's the free market. It's the free market that all it's simply saying. This is what Adam Smith was talking about. He's talking about an invisible hand free market. What he was saying is that these are people pursuing their own self-interest, and as a result, the public benefits, the people benefit. What they have now is that the only people who benefit are the corporations and the government. And the government and the corporations don't like when you benefit. That's the reason, in regards to education, if the free market was out there, education would be cheaper. So poor people could go to school. They would probably have to work maybe 1 or 2 jobs to be able to pay for it, but when they got done, they would have no debt. And they would be able to live even if they made a low wage. See, this is what the progressives don't understand. See, progressives seem to think you just keep giving them more money. Tuition $10,000 this year, $20,000 next year. We just need to keep funding the Department of Education to ensure these people go to jail, but they don't. But they miss one thing, and now you can see that it's affecting not just minorities, but even the majority. They're learning without having taken an economics class. They're learning this fundamental of economics: supply and demand. Now there are so many people who have degrees, whether it be in basket weaving or basketball or TV or whatever these kids are majoring in now, which is an absolute waste of time. Whenever you have a whole bunch of something, which you have a lot of people who have degrees, then the degree is worth nothing. Then you have to have a master's degree just to get an entry-level job. And that's the reason you have a lot of people who have degrees who do not have a job. See, again, liberals and progressives, when it comes to this issue, now I'm not on the Republican side when it comes to other issues, but when it comes to this issue, these social issues, they don't understand that they are the ones that are actually killing minorities. They are killing people who make low income. They are killing people who are on fixed incomes because they don't understand a fundamental principle, and that how the free market truly is supposed to work. And education is not a right.